Sabay-sabay natin alamin ang mga kaganapan na nangyayari sa ating bansa.
Yo, what's up mga kaibigan? This is TOO KAYE po again. Ngayon nandito ulit tayo sa channel ni Pinas News Insider. Dito ulit tayo magbibigay ng komento at reaksyon. Kaya samahan nyo guys, let's go!
Ito ang balita ngayon. Viral ngayon sa mundo ng social media. Ang TOO Manoy Balitang pagpapalaganap ng maling impormasyon at disinformation, fake news at bias media. Wawakasan na. Pangulong Bongbong Marcos nakahanap na ng solusyon para maprotektahan ang totoong public information. Pero bago ang lahat, kung bago ka pa lamang
Sa lahat ng hindi pa nakasubscribe mga kaibigan kay Pinas News Insider, mag-subscribe na po tayo at huwag nyo rin pong kalimutan mag-subscribe dito sa aking channel.
sa aming channel, please huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe at i-click ang notification bell para mas maging updated ka palalo sa lahat pa ng bagong video na i-upload namin. At eto na nga mga kababayan, ang Administrasyong Marcos ay labis na nagsusumikap para bigyan ng publiko ng kaalaman at mga kasangkapan upang labanan ang maling impormasyon at disinformation, lalong-lalo na sa mundo ng social media o ang mga digital landscape. Noong Lunes, pinangunahan ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ang paglagda ng isang Memorandum of Understanding sa kampanya nito sa Media and Information Literacy. Kasama ni Presidential Communication Office Secretary Chiloy Vilgaria Garapel, mga opisyal ng iba't iba pang ahensya at gobyerno at mga kinatawa ng pangunahing social media platforms. Sa kaganapang ito, sinabi ng Pangulong Bongbong Marcos na dapat bigyan ng pamahalaan ng gobyerno ang publiko ng kaalaman at kasangkapan para labanan ng maling impormasyon at disinformation. Dahil sa pamamagitan ng programang ito na Media Information Literacy Campaign, gagawin itong armado ang mamayan at kabataang Pilipino sa pagsisiyasat at pagdedesisyon, lalong-lalo na sa mga impormasyon na nakukuha sa digital landscape. Dahil ang mga bagong Pilipino ay dapat na kritikal mag-isip at mapanuri sa kumakalat na mga impormasyon dahil walang puwang sa lipunan ang pagbabalita ng hindi tama.
Dapat lang talaga isara yung mga yan, lalo na yung mga bias media mga kaibigan. Dapat yung mga bias mainstream media, hindi na binibigyan ng lisensya yan or hindi na dapat pinagre-renew. Dapat pinagsasara na yung mga yan. Kasi halos lahat mga kaibigan nasa social media lahat. Nandun na lahat yung mga tunay na balita, yung mga nangyayari sa Pilipinas, sa buong mundo. Nasa social media na mga kaibigan. Doon na natin malaman lahat.
Pinapahalagahan pa ang masamang propaganda upang linlangin ang taong bayan, maging responsable at walang kinikilingan. Samantala, hindi naman mapigilan ng marami sa ating mga kababayan na magbigay ng kanilang hinaing at komento sa mundo ng social media. At ayon pa sa kanila, good job Mr. President BBM. Good luck and God bless mga fake news reporters. Di na obra sa Pilipinas. Parusa ang kailangan ng mga fake news makers. Fake news, there's no place in modern society. Ito na yung time para sa mga journalists na di tapat sa serbisyong totoo. Ewan ko ba kung bakit naging bias ang mga ito. Matalino nga sila, pero ang katalinuhan nila ay ginamit nila ito sa maling paraan. Di sila karespeto dahil mismo sa sarili nila ay walang respeto. Yan ang magandang hatol sa mga nagbabalita ng hindi tama. Bias media, ika nga. Tama na ang pamamayagpag nyo. Yung kasabihang walang unang pagsisisi, laging huli. Mabuhay ka, President Marcos. Dapat lang parusahan ng mga bias na reporters para wala ng mga bias reporters at fake news. End quote.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand Marcos Jr.
Thank you very much to the Secretary of the Interior and Local Government, Secretary Benhur Abalos. Please take your seat. The Presidential Communications Office Secretary, Cheloy Garafil, and our Chairman, Chairman Popoy de Vera. The Department of Social Welfare and Development Undersecretary. Ngayon lang kita nakita hindi na nakabarong dahil nakikita kami pagka bagyo eh. At saka pag may lindol, at saka pag kaya medyo disente tayo ngayon. All my fellow workers in government, my partners in the private sector, the all-important private sector partners, especially for this very, very important subject matter that we are trying to address today. Other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. I am, of course, very happy to join the guests from the government and the private sector to witness the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between key government agencies and the launching of the Media and Information, or MIL, project. In this day and age, the world has grown very much smaller because of technological advancements that hasten our integration into a single, cohesive digital society. The digital world is both borderless and also limitless, and everyone can now claim to be a netizen with just a few clicks of a mouse or a few touches on mobile devices, and we have joined the rest of the world when it comes to cyberspace. Back in the day, there was a time, a long time ago, some of the kids don't even remember this time, that we had to actually go out and engage with actual people, actual human beings, to engage in the exchange of information, in the exchange of, and to have a line of communication. But now we reach out to millions of people in the comfort of our homes, in our schools, in our workspaces, and through, of course, all the digital platforms that we have available to us today. News and information, which was, of course, delivered through what we now call the traditional media, newspapers, radio, television. Now, the multitude of information is available to anyone, anywhere, anytime. But that is information, pure and raw, and unedited and uncurated and unexamined information. It is put out there. And that's why they say the internet is a great equalizer. Because the traditional media, for example, if you read an article that you're interested in, or that you would like to comment on, that you would like to respond to, you write a letter. And you say, "Dear editor, I'm in full agreement with the op-ed, the column that was written by your columnist last Thursday about blah, 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 blah." And that is the only way that you can communicate. Now, it is purely interactive. While the guy's doing his blog, you can be telling him, "Nah, that's not true. This is completely different. We have a completely different experience. What you're saying might apply in your area, but it doesn't apply now." And this is while he or she is still in the middle of their vlog, is still in the middle of their post. And so that is how quickly now that interaction. That's why, as I said, it is called the great equalizer. And because anyone can be part of the digital world. But therein comes also the problem. When you talk to, for example, political commentators, and say you have been working for the New York Times for the last 35 years in the Middle East, or you have been working for Financial Times in Hong Kong for the last 35 years. And now we get our opinions not from that fellow who has been working in one place for 35 years, but we don't know where it's coming from anymore. We're not sure where it's coming from because anyone can go on the internet and spread their opinion. And everyone is entitled, of course, to their own opinion, but everyone also has the prerogative of being wrong. So that is where the problem arises. Because there used to be a joke when we would say, "It must be true, I read it in the paper." And people would say, "Don't believe everything that you read on the paper." We also hear the same thing now. It's on the internet, it must be true. And there, again, there's that we see, because they see that we are not sure. When we talk to that reporter or the commentator or the author who has been working at a certain thing for his entire life, their entire lives, and now they have somebody who is a 14-year-old who's just having fun and doesn't really know much about what they're talking about, come on the internet and say, and this is regarded with equal credibility. Because it's very hard for us to know, because it's also new. It's very hard for us to know exactly. So you go back, you do a little research. You find out who is this person. When during one of the best examples of this happening was during the pandemic. you would look, the people would say, this is thing that you can do, but they're saying, be pro-vax, anti-vax, do you wear a mask, don't wear a mask, it's a political statement. We were all confused. And there was very little that you could do to find out, except to find out who these people were. And that's a funny example. A friend of mine sent me, I said, you should read it during the lockdown. You should read this. This guy makes a lot of sense. He was just, medyo may pagka-outrageous yung kanyang mga advice. So binasa ko, and I said, well, the only best way to do this is to find out who is this guy. Baka naman Mayo Clinic, di ba? Baka naman nasa Stanford Center of ng Research. So I watched, I looked, and it was a pathologist. And I told my friend, I said, why are you listening to a pathologist? If they make a mistake, it doesn't matter, their patients are already dead. So we should not be listening to these people. And that's what we are attempting to do here. What we are attempting to do here is specifically, as Secretary Chelo mentioned, we also direct our attention to young people because they are the most involved. They are the ones who consider being online, working on the internet as part of their life. It's like breathing to young people. But we must give them the tools to be able to look and see what are these things that we are reading. Totoo ba ito? Should we really be doing something about it? Should I worry? Or should I just not worry? Because this is what people are telling me. And then it goes into every part of our lives. It becomes dangerous. It became dangerous during the pandemic because people were giving some very outrageous advice and this was hurting other people. But then it is now extended now into it has become such an important tool in the political realm. And we all hear about fake news. We all hear that the entire campaign, I've heard this in reference to somebody I know, that their entire campaign was based on fake news. Everything that they said on the internet was fake news. Well, maybe it's time that we give our kids, not only our kids, but our citizenry, the tools to be able for them to tell what is important, what is not, what is relevant, where the sources of these information come from. We have all heard the phrase, know your source. So that is perhaps the first step that we can do for our people, to say, know your source. Tignan nyo kung saan galing, kung ano yung kwento na yan. Baka nag-inuman lang yung mga yun, dahil kung ano-ano naisip, sinulat sa internet, naniwala naman tayo. Di ba? Kailangan bantayan natin yun. If you will notice, when we signed the poster on the Media and Information Literacy Campaign, what I wrote there is, fight for the truth. And this is all that we are talking about, and this is as much as we are talking about. What we are fighting for is the truth. Because what is the very first casualty of all of these sometimes sinister, sometimes just mistaken, misguided activities, the first victim, the first casualty is the truth. And we must allow everyone to be able to discern for themselves. We will help them, but people have to learn to be able to discern for themselves what is real and what is not, what is propaganda, what is fact, what is data, and what is speculation. These are all the things that we would like for people to learn, and it is something that we have to learn. This is all very new. My sons laugh at me when I say, do you know that there was a time when there were no telephones and there were no computers? And yeah, Dad, sure. They just cannot imagine that such a world existed. But those, the younger generations here will remember that. And it has, but now this is a world that people face. It is not. I did not grow up with it. I grew up with it. I learned about computers and the digital world, cyberspace in school. But kids, 3-year-old. I saw a 3-year-old syncing his toy to his control box. So what are you doing? Oh, I'm syncing it. Sync it. 3-year-old kid. And that's how involved we are. That's how embedded, how large a part all of this plays into our lives. We used to call it the information technology. Well, let us recognize now there is good information and there is bad information. And it's up to us to make sure that we cannot stop it. We cannot do it. I don't think that there's ever been any country, no matter how much they wanted to try and stop the internet or to try and block or to try and cancel websites. They do for a little while, but lilitaw din yan. We always somehow find a way in. So we have to find a way to make sure that whatever the inputs our people are getting, they have the capability, they have the ability to be able to discern between truth, speculation, propaganda, and outright lies. And that is the job that we are starting here today, and we need everyone to be involved. We have to with the advent of AI, we can see that the tools that are available are becoming more and more powerful. And we're all very grateful when our machines do a little bit of their thinking for us. But it's also rather disconcerting when we are confronted by pure AI. Hindi na tao yung kausap mo. O ano na lang pwedeng sabihin. And that's something that we have to learn how to deal with. And that is why what we are doing here today, starting this campaign, is very, very important. And that is why I thank you all for being involved in this. It is immediate, it is urgent, and although I think that if we put our minds to it, there is a way to allow our people to be able to discern from truth and everything else. Thank you and good afternoon.
At yun na nga mga
At yun nga po mga kaibigan, dito po nagtatapos ang ating reaction video. Muli ako po si I2K ng Sundalo ng Dunggalo at 811. Maraming salamat sa patuloy na pagsuporta. Yeah. Peace out.